I saw this one, I did not watch it, and I watch like a lot of his videos, but I've been slowing down watching his videos simply to enjoy them with you guys. It pains me to not watch, but I have been holding back. Disturbing toys that traumatize kids.
Disturbing about toy recalls. I mean, after all, you're dealing with this
Easy Bake Oven and Snack Center makes snacks easy made for you. I could picture Chibi having this as a kid and actually burning the whole thing down.
plaything, which was intended to, bring joy within children, ended up maiming or traumatizing them.
You can't easy bake grass, as I am sure she found out.
With the rise of social media, we've seen more and more instances of these dangerous toys pop up, with concerned parents taking to the web to report disturbing and harrowing encounters with these toys hurting their kids. Some of these reports actually resulting in full-on recalls. From a magic wand toy featuring secret gory imagery to Pokeballs causing suffocation in infants. These are the internet's most dangerous toys.
Boy, buckle up everyone.
Before we get started, I want to thank today's sponsor,
Don't be Keeps.
Cook Unity off.
Wavy does a lot with Keeps, so I was really hoping that he didn't have a Keeps sponsorship for this one.
Nagzz needs the Keeps sponsor Keck.
I don't!
10 years ago, a disturbing story involving a magic wand toy that was purchased from a dollar store began circulating around the internet. The small wand-like trinket seemed innocuous enough, but the toy contained a dark secret. A secret that, when revealed, opened up one of the most bizarre rabbit holes in internet mystery.
Also, I can't be the only one that thinks the dollar store always has creepy stuff like this. Going into a dollar store and like walking in the toy section is always, I don't know, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Everything's like old and weird and just, especially like the kids' toys and everything, it's just so creepy.
History.
So it makes sense.
This is the legend of the evil stick. It all begins in early November of 2014, just days after Halloween. In Dayton, Ohio, a woman named Nicole Allen was shopping with her 2-year-old daughter at a local dollar store when something on the shelves caught her and her child's eye. It was a pink magic wand toy. The wand, which took the shape of a flower, was secured in packaging that promised kids wonderful music, magic, and fairies. Among these whimsical claims, the packaging also featured an anime.
There's an anime character on it!
That character being Sakura Kinimoto from the 90s anime series Card Captor Sakura.
I was wondering what the hell's Card Captor, and you were all spamming it before he said it. Bunch of f***ing weebs, and I love it. I knew it was Card Captor. I just didn't want to say anything and spoil it, because we're all watching this together. Bro, so many were spamming it. I was like, what the hell's a Card Captor?
Despite the presence of this anime character on the wand's packaging, the wand itself had nothing to do with this anime, like it wasn't featured in the show. It almost seemed like the anime character's inclusion was arbitrary to make the product seem more exotic. And easily the strangest part about this toy was the name of it. It was called...
That's a bootleg Card Captor. Cord Catcher Sarah Keck.
Yo, you're all laughing. What does that mean? Off-brand Sakura? Bootleg names are similar, but... Okay, so Cord Catcher, Card Captor. Yeah, instead of Pepsi, Beppis. Yeah, this is Evil Stick.
This name is quite a juxtaposition when compared to the product's packaging. Now, the mother, Nicole Allen, she didn't notice this weird product name, and thinking that her daughter would like this, magic wand toy, she bought it for the 2-year-old. And the kid loved it at first, but several hours into the play session, the true nature of the evil stick would reveal itself.
And if they lasted just maybe 2 more hours of playing without noticing this, never would have noticed, because that kid is not playing with this thing for more than 2 hours. They would play it for a total of 4, chuck it, and then on to the next toy.
At home, as the child began to play with the evil stick, a haunting, cackling laugh began to emit from the small speakers of the device. Naturally, the mom's confused as to why a toy for toddlers would be making such a creepy laugh sound. So she confiscated the toy and investigated it further. And moments later, Nicole would make a harrowing discovery. The woman found that beneath the foil on the flower face of the wand was a bloody, demonic, witch-looking woman brandishing a knife. Yeah, shit's getting real. Upon the discovery, chills ran down the woman's spine as lights and an evil cackle activated during the grisly discovery.
What? That's creepy. I would throw that out right away.
How could something intended for children feature imagery like this and just be haplessly sold at a dollar store without much of a warning?
But it was like
Feeling
hidden.
as if the toy was a potential danger to children in the sense of them being traumatized, Nicole took her...
This
As of
video
now.
list could have also been formed from taking inventory of Chibi's toy box.
I bet you Chibi owned one of these.
The first individual questioned about the evil stick, naturally, was the store owner that was selling the stick itself. This individual was a man named Ammar Mustafa. When questioned about the evil stick, Mr. Mustafa denied any wrongdoing in selling the toy and defended the item, saying that it was the parents' responsibility to thoroughly inspect toys before giving it to children.
Bro, how bad is that? And it's peeled behind the silver of the wand? It's like a hidden Easter egg. That's terrible to be on a kid's wand.
Appeared as if Mustafa wasn't aware of this particular image being featured in the product.
Elite Tanker. I know the chat's going fast, but I see everything. Did you actually just write wood? Jesus Christ.
Old stick. So from the name, I would, if I'm buying it for my kid, I would inspect it before I even give it to them.
Mr. Mustafa would also reveal that he decided to stock this product after it caught his eye at a retailer's convention. It was at this convention where Mr. Mustafa made a deal and acquired some evil sticks for his inventory. But unfortunately, Mr. Mustafa claimed that he couldn't recall, nor did he have any record of who sold him the collection of evil sticks. Where the f did he buy it from? It's like a gun show, but it's for toys that traumatize children instead. Whatever the case, for the time being, the origin of the evil stick would remain a mystery. Meanwhile, clips from the local Ohio evil stick story began to go viral across YouTube and Reddit.
What creeps me out about it is it's hidden behind that silver thing. So, like, that's what's creepy about it. It's like a hidden Easter egg of evil. So, like, it looks like a little wand, you play with everything. That's what's creepy.
What might have been the peak of creepypasta enthusiasm online, the evil stick story was compelling to those intrigued by macabre mystery, and thousands on the web began discussing the disturbing finding. Around this time, a small YouTuber by the name of Matt Clark would help in the armchair investigation of this strange product by purchasing an evil stick for himself and showcasing it in a YouTube video.
Bro, okay, there is no shot I'd have that in my house. There is not a chance, bro.
Clark was a freelance writer in the Dayton, Ohio area, and would follow up this video with a longer one in which he detailed everything he had discovered in his researching of the evil children's gizmo.
By
I
Chibi
never do.
She would love it. Same energy as her.
I think it's fun to with Chibi, right? To prank her, you know, things like that. Of course, that's funny. I actually think this would terrorize her. I could predict what would happen. First off, she would open it up, packing peanuts. She'd probably start eating the packing peanuts. So she'd be in a good mood, eating the packing peanuts. She'd take it out, be like, evil stick. Motherfricker, evil stick, what is this? That's what she'd do while she continued to eat the packing peanuts. She'd open it, she would press it, it would go, she would throw it, one of her coffee things would hit the floor, crash, coffee everywhere, okay? Probably hit a mouse on the way as she flung it. Kill the mouse. Now the mouse is just, it would cause a whole bunch of problems.
Matt Clark also contributed to the evil stick investigation by bringing some new information to the table. That information being that not all evil sticks contained the same image. In fact, there were actually several different images a customer could be surprised with, none of which were as creepy as the witch, but zombies and ghouls were found.
That's not bad,
some
though.
evil sticks featured more age-appropriate images like friendly anime characters and angelic-looking beings.
It's actually like collecting, but no, the one with the girl we saw, that's just, bro, that's a really bad picture.
Evil sticks that contained pleasant imagery were said to have played whimsical music like the packaging promised. It's like there were good evil sticks and bad evil sticks that you could get. Matt's
a gotcha
videos
stick.
regarding the evil stick
A
would go
gotcha
viral
stick?
online, and his comment section served as a place for folks to theory craft in regard to the origin of the wand, and more specifically, the source of the image featured on the demonic witch one. I mean, after all, what or who is this person? The source of this image featured on the evil stick proved to be elusive for some time. But eventually, thanks to thousands of online contributors, its creator was tracked down.
What?
The infamous image used on the evil stick was created by an online horror artist going under the alias Butcher Ludwig. Apparently, Ludwig had taken this photo back in 2002 and uploaded it to the internet as a part of a gore-themed pinup girl series. While the woman featured in this image was in fact real and is a photography model, none of the blood...
Guys, not that Ludwig! Shut the f- I can't with you guys, dude.
It was all just practical effects and post-editing. However, what's curious about this is that there are actually differences in Butcher Ludwig's original sort of, mock-up of this and the one that's used on the Evil Stick. The image on the Evil Stick has been edited. You can clearly see this when the two are compared. And Butcher Ludwig's watermark has been removed from the Evil Stick image. Which brings us to the fact that Butcher Ludwig had no idea that his artwork was being used for this bizarre product. Whoever manufactured the Evil Stick blatantly stole his artwork,
removed the watermark, edited it,
under fire from members of the public who felt that he was somehow responsible for the creation of the toy. Butcher Ludwig would explain to the internet masses that he had nothing to do with the art's inclusion in the kid's toy, and that the art was indeed stolen from him. Which of course brings us to the final stage of the Evil Stick mystery. Who or what company is responsible for stealing this man's art and making this messed up toy? Journalist Matt Clark's YouTube viewers managed to connect the product's origin as being from China thanks to metadata found within the Evil Stick's barcode. But unfortunately, none have been able to specifically name the manufacturer responsible
There's no shot
for the
you're gonna
Evil
find
Stick's
that.
production. Both Matt Clark and Butcher Ludwig have claimed to have communicated with factories associated with the item's production, but no company name has ever been publicly revealed. There still exists this strange air of mystery surrounding the Evil Stick, which has led many to create conspiracy theories suggesting that the Evil Stick is something like a real-world version of an Elsagate video. Some creeps out there producing content or products that seem child-friendly but contain serious adult themes inside.
I mean, dude, Elsagate was bad. If you don't know Elsagate, there's plenty of research to go with, but like Elsagate was bad. And I remember when it was happening, and I remember saying to myself, like, what is this shit, dude? Like, it was everywhere. And I was like, what is this shit on YouTube? Like, what is going on? And I just kind of like glossed over it. I was just like, weird, bro. It's a weird side of YouTube. And like for kids, freaking weird. And then just glossed over it until it was like brought to attention. And then like, I was like, oh my God. I believe with Elsagate, that's where the COPA Act started, where you have to label if it's for kids or not.
People were messing with the algorithm and parents that wanted YouTube to babysit their kids with no oversight.
I mean, how many times do you see it? It made sense. How many times do you see like a kid just glued to their iPad?
I remember when Elsagate was a thing, my boss's kid was in the office one day watching a really weird video about the Joker. I had to take my boss to the side and explain the whole thing about it.
And the thing with kids too is they watch the same shit over and over and over and over and over again on repeat. So they just continue to watch it over and over.
Many have postulated potential explanations for the true intentions behind the creation of the Evil Stick toy. It's thought that the Evil Stick itself functioned in a way like a game of chance, with there being bad and good Evil Sticks that one could collect.
I remember seeing some of those videos. There were people who made very gory animations of My Little Pony characters.
I'm glad like YouTube stepped in and took care of it. It was a weird time, and I remember seeing it, and I didn't say like, wow, this is weird. I didn't watch the videos, but I'd be like, what the hell? I was like, man, just catering to kids. I was like, just racking up views. I was like, I remember saying to myself, I was like, terrible. But I never watched any of them. So I didn't know that it was like super weird. I was just like, it's kid shit. I even glossed over it. I just thought, oh, it's Spider-Man, and I mean, what am I going to watch it for?
And only one, the demonic Evil Stick, featured an evil cackling laugh that would traumatize kids. This, the demonic girl one, naturally would have been like the worst Evil Stick that you could pull, and it laughing at you and being creepy was like the manufacturer's way of like giving the middle finger to the person who bought it, saying that they sucked, I guess. I like to think of it as accidentally picking the Bowser flower in Peach's birthday cake in Mario Party 1.
That's happened to me plenty with Chibi. It's annoying.
Basically, it seems like the Evil Stick is just some f***ed up Chinese toy where the implications of traumatizing kids in the way of telling them that they got a bad pull kind of got lost in translation, at least culturally, perhaps. In the wake of the Evil Stick controversy, the product disappeared from store shelves around America. And as far as I'm aware, the Evil Stick is no longer sold in this country. Several Evil Sticks have appeared on eBay over the years and have sold for hundreds of dollars, with the Demon Stick in particular being quite rare. In a story that began as a mysterious online conspiracy and seems to have ended in a classic tale of Chinese bootlegging, that was the Evil Stick story.
How much? Like a couple of hundred? Is it worth? It is a collector's item. It has lore behind it, and you can't find it anymore. For some people, yes. For me, I just collect 90s stuff, unless it was made just like old 90s toys. I never make fun of anybody collecting anything because I'm a very big collector. That's something cool to collect.
Be willing to bet most of you watching are familiar with the Baby Shark song on YouTube.
Yeah.
Baby. No! God, please, no!
This viral children's jingle hit the internet in 2016 and went massively viral.
13 billion?
And with the popularity of Baby Shark on YouTube, the brand has essentially become an empire, with millions of dollars being generated off of Baby Shark every year thanks to this earworm of a song. Its popularity has generated a Nickelodeon cartoon series, branded grocery products, and of course, lots of toys. Sadly though, Baby Shark has somewhat of a dodgy reputation when it comes to its branded merchandise. Such is the case of a particularly dangerous Baby Shark toy. It all begins with a Baby Shark bath toy that hit shelves in May of 2019. This seemingly innocuous Baby Shark was sold at Target, Walgreens, Ross, and Walmart. The shark was made of a hard plastic material and included a feature where the shark would sing and swim along the top of water when placed in a bathtub or swimming pool. While many such bath toys have been on the market for decades now, the Baby Shark toy featured an insidious design flaw that was a big danger for kids. What images of this product do not properly convey is the sheer size of the shark. The toy itself is actually 7 inches long from nose to tail. So in the context of a child, that's a pretty large toy, which of course brings us to the rather sharp point on this toy, that being the shark's fin. Since the release of this Baby Shark bath toy, this sharp, hard plastic, dagger-like fin has reportedly resulted in
Baby Shark dude. Sorry. I had to! I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
And the injuries resulting from children slipping and falling on the toy's rigid fin.
Jeez.
Many of these injuries have reportedly sent kids to the hospital and required stitches. As a result of these reports, in 2023, the 7.5 million large Baby Shark water toys in circulation were recalled by their manufacturer, Zuru LLC. Consumers were told to immediately stop using the dangerous sharks and to contact Zuru for a full refund of $14 for each. The recall stated the following, quote, consumers should disable the tail fin by cutting it on the full-size bath toy or by bending it on the mini-size bath toy, mark the body of the shark bath toy with the word recalled and the unique code provided during registration for the recall.
Can we buy this for Chibi?
Do we want to get all these toys for Chibi? Jesus. She's clumsy. She will actually fall on it, so no.
Upon receipt of the photo, Zuru will issue a refund to purchasers. This recall is still somewhat recent and is an actively developing story. I'm unaware of any civil lawsuits resulting from injuries. Whatever the case, this situation is a dark stain on the reputation of one of the most beloved children franchises to rise to prominence in recent memory. This next story was a toy recall that occurred in the early days of the internet when information didn't spread as fast as it does.
What could be the problem with this one? Someone eating the f***ing Pokeball?
It's one of the most disturbing and widespread recalls of all time, involving 2 franchises beloved by Americans. It's the story of Burger King.
Bro, they no way a kid's fitting that in them. They're huge. No way. It's got to be something else.
In 1999, during the promotion for the first Pokemon movie, Burger King held a $22 million promotion.
Yes, you did. You tried eating it? That's your first message in the chat. You tried eating that? Oh my.
for the movie, releasing a set of 57 miniature Pokemon toys which were contained within small Pokeballs measuring 3 inches in diameter. Burger King distributed the toys through their Big Kids meal and regular kids meals, and the promotion was set to last through November and December of 1999. These Pokeballs were manufactured by Equity Marketing Inc. in Los Angeles, California, and could be opened by pulling the 2 halves of the Pokeballs apart, revealing the Pokemon toy inside. Now, for you true 90s kids out there, you most definitely remember this promotion. It was a massive...
I remember it, but I don't remember anything where they recalled it. That's the thing. I remember this. And I remember it because I remember going to Burger King for these. I remember going to McDonald's. I believe, yeah, it was McDonald's for the Beanie Babies when they had the small Beanie Babies. Did I eat it? No, because I'm not in it. Well.
And this toy run was a massive hit for Burger King. Restaurants were wrapped with customers attempting to get their hands on Pokeballs, and unsurprisingly, shortages occurred. These BK Pokeballs were such a fixture of public interest at the time that the Burger King president of North America even went as far as running newspaper advertisements apologizing to the public when there were shortages. However, what we'll soon find is that shortages would be the least of Burger King's problems.
Oh boy.
As an insidious design flaw within the Pokeball itself would begin to reveal itself. A design flaw with lethal consequences, might I add. On December 11th of 1999, it was being reported that a 13-month-old girl in Sonora, California was found unresponsive in her playpen by family members. When she was turned over, the family discovered that the girl had a Pokeball suctioned to her face, one side covering her mouth and the other her nose. The Pokeball had suctioned to the toddler's mouth, and she had suffocated to death.
Oh my god. I could picture me doing that 100%. Like, you know how many times you used to like put stuff on a lip and let it hang down and then suction? 100%. That's not dumb. I could picture me doing that. I almost did this with a bucket. What'd you put the... how big's your face? Bro, if I had a kid that was 13 months, they get nothing. They get what is it? The creepy baby food that has a little baby on it? Gerber. Yeah, the Gerber baby. It always creeped me out. That and the oatmeal guy, too. The baby stared at you and the oatmeal guy stared at you. Ate your soul.
I ate a whole thing of gack. The fellow boomers will remember that, and had to get my stomach pumped.
How do you eat gack, bro? It's green. Why are you eating gack?
The toy as the cause of the infant's tragic passing. It was noted that the small diameter and concave structure of the Pokeball made it particularly susceptible
Oh my
to suction.
god.
A teething baby could chew on the toy, manipulating it in a way where an airtight seal would be made, posing major suffocation risk. This was the first time in history a Burger King toy had been associated with the death of a child. But the Burger Giant would initially attempt to shirk responsibility regarding the matter, claiming that there wasn't enough conclusive evidence to prove that their toy was the direct cause of the child's death, and that the kid's passing could have possibly been due to completely unrelated factors. Despite the ball being found on her mouth, but okay. They said this. But then it happened again. On December 23rd of 1999, 2 days before Christmas, a girl from Kansas reportedly got half of a Pokeball stuck on her nose and mouth and nearly suffocated in her own home. Thankfully, the girl's parents managed to remove the suction seal before she was killed. She would receive treatment and suffered no serious injuries. This second incident was reported by news media and raised eyebrows among the public.
Oh, right before Christmas? Like I said, that's why I was like, who is eating this? There's no way. But that is very, 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 very likely. Because I could picture myself doing that. We used to like do things that it would like, make the ring around your mouth. So we used to like get cups and stuff, and suction it and like, and just be like, her. And like, I remember there was like little cups. We used to do that and like, then we'd smack them like to try to knock it off. So I could easily see me doing that.
Couldn't ignore the Pokeball flaw any longer. This second incident left Burger King with no other option than to act. Public pressure was mounting and consumer panic along with it. So with this in consideration, Burger King Pokeballs would cease distribution immediately and a recall would be issued. And by Christmas Eve of 1999, all Burger King toys were removed from stores. Several days later, on December 29th of 1999, a nationwide recall was issued. Along with this recall came several ominous warnings released to the public by Burger King that were on both print and television. Burger King issued a statement to parents urging them to immediately take away all Pokeball containers from children ages 3 and younger. The most disturbing thing to come out of the recall outside of the death and injuries themselves was a $1 million TV ad campaign which ominously urged parents to return the deadly children's toys.
Burger King and the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission want you to know about the voluntary recall of this Pokemon Pokeball. The ball may pose a suffocation hazard to children under 3. Throw the ball away or return it to Burger King.
Okay.
The safety of your child is of the utmost importance to us.
That's creepy, bro. Oh my god, that is so creepy to get that on TV. That's a scary ad. That's one way to get everyone's attention, though.
These creepy television ads were certainly effective at getting attention of the public and urging them to recall the Pokeballs. Sadly, deaths were still occurring as Pokeballs were out in circulation still. While the recall campaign was ongoing, a 4-month-old boy in Indianapolis, Indiana would fall victim to one of the deadly balls, the Pokeball suctioning to his face, causing the child to suffocate in his crib. And in true macabre fashion, the more deaths occurred, the faster the word spread about the recall.
Pen companies knew in 1991 that putting a hole at the end of the cap would save lives. How did some of these companies not see that as a valid idea?
Jeez.
Would occur that awareness would be high enough that most parents were finally privy to the fact that these Pokemon toys were dangerous. Parents would begin destroying them en masse, and eventually this crisis would come to an end. In the wake of this Pokeball crisis, Burger King received heavy criticism for their initial reluctance to initiate a recall of their toy. Equity Marketing, the company that made the toys, rebutted critics, stating that before launching the toys, they ensured that the Pokeball containers met or exceeded federal safety guidelines and underwent an exuberant amount of safety testing by an independent third-party lab before, during, and after production of the balls. They said that they checked all the federal safety guideline boxes in the process of making the Pokeball product. However, the issue was that while the toy had passed all the regulatory child choke tests,
it was that slot in there. It was that slot that could put it and get locked for the nose on there. Oh man, that's brutal.
These parameters did not assess the risk for suction, which was the way
suction
that
and that ridge that opens it, man.
Making the hole in the toy costs an extra ½ cent per unit. That's the entire thought process behind the corporate decision.
Pokeballs killed. The toy's design flaw was a blind spot for both Burger King and the Consumer Product Safety Commission. And in part because of this high-profile case, toys nowadays are tested for suctioning risks. As far as compensation for victims, the parents of the 13-month-old girl that passed from the Burger King Pokeballs would file suit against the company and would win a monetary settlement from the corporation.
That's great and all. It's not going to bring their child back. That's what really my heart goes out to them, you know. And I guarantee they said that in court. It's not so much in a case like this. Like, I don't have kids, so I could only imagine someone losing their child. What that does though is it feels like justice was done. It's kind of like that's really it. It'll never bring their kid back, though.
Dollar amount awarded has been kept confidential. It's not known if any other victims' families won in legal action against the company, but it goes without saying they deserve something for what these Pokeballs put them through. In what's likely one of the darkest children's toy recalls in American history, those were the deadly Burger King Pokeballs.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
While I wouldn't...
Oh my God, it's so creepy. These are the, oh my God. Bro, these the, the IP things? Like, like they get your IP? No shot, bro.
Necessarily consider a Ring camera a children's toy. Parents do use Ring devices to monitor and protect their children. Take, for example, Ring cameras in a kid's room or baby monitors produced by the company. But what happens when products that you use to safeguard your kids end up traumatizing them? This next chapter involves several nightmarish examples of nefarious hackers who have infiltrated Ring cameras cameras and other security devices.
Oh my God, I saw something like this, and he was talking to the... Oh my God, so creepy. They were hearing it in the house? Oh my God, bro.
Arguably one of the most disturbing examples of this occurred in Tennessee.
And I remember it sounded like, literally like someone who plays League. It sounded like a dude who was just, you know, on Discord who plays League and was talking through there. Like he just hacked it and he was talking. When you hear the voice, it's not like you would think a creepy old man like, hey, you know, it was like, hey, man. It sounded like a kid that played League, at least from what I remember.
Tennessee woman Ashley LeMay had purchased a set of Ring cameras to look after her 3 daughters. And this system worked well initially, but on the 4th night of the camera's operation, the unimaginable occurred. While Ashley's daughter Alyssa is playing alone in her room, an unknown man's voice begins speaking to the girl from the device, claiming that he's Santa Claus and begins instructing her to start breaking things in the house.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend.
Sounds like a League kid, right? And tells her to break shit? He probably lost mid-lane. He lost mid-lane, and he's like, someone has to pay for these consequences. Break shit.
I'm Santa Claus. I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend? You can mess up your room. You can break your TV. You can do whatever you want.
At first, the girl is confused, and when she refuses to follow the instructions of this deranged hacker, the guy begins loudly playing the uncanny, creepy classic hit, Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips, through the speakers.
What? Bro, I would lose my shit!
The girl's father would hear this creepy ruckus and rush to the scene, intervening and putting a stop to the harassment. The hacker responsible for this incident is still unknown. A similar incident would occur the same year,
Kid is still playing League, bro.
Involving a 13-year-old being harassed with frequent questions by a hacker who had breached his home's Ring security system.
Hello? I see you.
What?
I see you. How you doing? How's your day?
I'm good.
What's your name?
Lamar.
What up, Lamar? How's your day?
It's good.
Do you play Minecraft?
I told you.
While this hacker seemed less malicious and honestly just kind of like started a conversation with this kid, I can't even begin to stress the disturbing implications of, you know, hacking into someone's house and being able to communicate with them.
So weird.
It brings chills to my body.
Same.
Like, really. Reports of these Ring hackings would go viral online and in local media. Regarding the hacks, Ring said in a statement in December of 2019, quote, "While we're still investigating this issue and are taking appropriate steps to protect our devices based on our investigation, we are able to confirm this incident is in no way related to a breach or compromise of Ring security." In 2020, the hackings would escalate even further. During this year, an Atlanta, Georgia family was spied on and swatted by a malicious hacker for seemingly no other reason than to fulfill some sadistic power fantasy.
Take all your stop using the same passwords for everything.
That's sick.
We are sick. Yeah, we are disgusting. This is the 15th one today. We do this all over the United States.
The stakes were now higher than ever. I mean, after all, this thing has gone from just messing with kids by playing creepy songs all the way to potentially putting families' lives in
How many of you gonna be changing passwords right now, bro?
danger. Fortunately, though, around this time, it was discovered how these hacks were taking place. And it essentially all boiled down to weak passwords. See, it's not all too uncommon for social media sites and other online services to experience data leaks where user information, including login info, finds its way onto the internet. What Ring hackers were essentially doing was accessing these data leaks that were associated with different, websites and services, and basically, trying to brute force their way into Ring camera systems by using old passwords.
Yeah. So what they'll do is they try to find like any breaches like on the dark web. What they'll do is if they get your email address right there with the password, right? obviously, if you got a notification or maybe changed it, what they'll do is they'll use that email address with a password somewhere else, right? Or anything connected to you, and trying to use it on different things, from Ring all the way to Netflix to all that, and they'll just see if you use the same password with the same email, that password, and then they'll try to use it for different services. So if it leaked for, say, Netflix, right? They'll try to use that email and password that leaked for Netflix or whatever got out there for a variety of different stuff. They get the email and password and see if you've used that password before for anything else. So if you keep it the same, high chance
other services
they'll get in.
Because a lot of people just use the same password for everything. While a majority of those who committed Ring camera hacks were never identified or criminally punished, a small handful of Ring hackers have been arrested and prosecuted. In 2022, two men...
The best password are ones nobody would ever think is real. That's why I use Mets Win.
Bro, these are League players. Both of them play League.
PSA, if you still have the default password on your modem or router, change it. Some of those are based on known algorithms and are not safe.
Were charged in a Los Angeles court with one count of conspiracy to intentionally access computers without authorization. Nelson was also charged with 2 counts of intentionally accessing a computer without authorization and 2 counts of aggravated identity theft for hacking various home camera systems. Nelson allegedly accessed Yahoo email accounts and Ring accounts belonging to victims all throughout the United States.
This is why I recommend a password manager like Dashlane. It lets you use different passwords for every login and use randomly generated ones.
Yeah, well, what happens if they get leaked? Because didn't one, like, it was password something, I remember a while ago, it had a data breach. It was like 1Password, I think it was.
He would then allegedly call the police and report a crime while watching through his live feed. The guy was swatting people and watching the SWAT live through their own Ring cameras.
Jeez.
How fucked up is that? Thomas Andrew McCarty is facing 9 counts of making a false statement, 9 counts of false information and hoax, 1 count of stalking, and 6 counts of aggravated identity theft. In February of 2022, Nelson pled guilty to 2 counts of making terroristic threats in the 2nd degree and 1 count of terroristic threatening in the 1st degree. This
Probably
man
5
was sentenced
years.
to serve 7 years in
7?
prison.
Yeah.
Curiously, since the arrests of these 2 individuals, Ring camera hackings have pretty much stopped. That being said, the threat of Ring camera hacking is still out there, and the only way to prevent it is to have a strong password and not get wrapped up in leaks.
Well, I mean, you can't really say not get wrapped up in leaks. Just have a strong password, change your passwords constantly. Leaks are going to happen all the time, especially on the dark web, leaking all your stuff.
Admittedly, these things are fun to mess around on, and they got so popular that hoverboards kind of became a meme for a while. With every Zoomer kid in America YOLO swagging out on these things, they just got tiresome, you know? While hoverboards are fondly remembered by many, what's often not discussed
Yeah, you Zoomers, you YOLO swagging out, bro. No cap. On God.
about this toy is the dark history surrounding it and the many houses burnt down,
For real,
children injured and killed because of them. Back in the day, people saw hoverboards as a potential futuristic form of transportation, the hypothetical contraption made popular thanks to Marty McFly's hoverboard featured in Back to the Future 2. Decades later, the world is yet to get flying hoverboards for real, the technology still out of reach. But in 2013, manufacturers decided to cash in on the legacy pop culture hype and began selling electronic swivel skateboard-like toys under the name hoverboard. The genesis of these swivel hoverboard products actually begins with a Kickstarter created by American entrepreneur Steve Chen. This Kickstarter would later result in the creation of his hoverboard product, which sold under the name Hovertrax. For those who don't know, hoverboards move by the user tilting in the direction that they want to go. It's also possible to get the board to spin in a circle by tilting your feet in opposite directions.
I've used one once before. They're actually pretty cool.
Hoverboards hit shelves. They were almost an immediate hit. And much of this was in part thanks to how popular social media was at the time and videos of the hoverboard spreading virally. Videos would surface online showcasing various celebrities like Justin Bieber, Jamie Foxx, Kendall Jenner, and more riding hoverboards, and dozens of funny fail videos surfaced as well, showing Viners, YouTubers, and everyday people busting their asses and crashing their boards. Much like scooters and bicycles, hoverboards became a hugely popular hit with...
I don't know why. I mean, I have a nice house, you know. It's nice, but I'm thinking like I see people riding their hoverboards in the house. I'm like, maybe my basement. I can't ride my hoverboard through the kitchen. I just told you I can't even ride a hoverboard in my kitchen.
By June of 2015, copycats of the hoverboard began flooding the market, and the quality of these products began to suffer as a result.
Yeah.
Now, you might think the danger being posed to the youth in regard to this product was, you know, simply kids crashing and busting their head open on the board. But the real insidious danger with the hoverboard was actually the risk of these things exploding and catching on fire. Many of these fires causing entire homes to be burnt down and lives ruined.
Yep.
With low-quality hoverboards
So
now in the
sad.
hands of consumers, videos began surfacing on the news and social media showcasing hoverboards bursting into flames. One Louisiana family who purchased a hoverboard for their son's Christmas gift unfortunately lost their entire home, thanks to the board igniting and setting fire to the property. As more boards were proven faulty, a social media panic began to set in, and online retailers started removing specific hoverboard products from their website.
I think of this and I get super nervous. My dad had a Lincoln's favorite car. My mom took me and my sister to go to Toys R Us, right? And we were going to go to McDonald's. And we're in this Lincoln car, and it was a nice Lincoln. It was like new. My dad saved up for it, and we're driving. All of a sudden, smoke was coming out of the steering wheel, and it was smoking through the steering wheel. And I was like, oh, what is it? And my mom was like, why is it, you know, smoking? And me and my sister, we were really young too. So, and my mom's like, so she was like kind of stuck in track, and the smoke just kept coming out and out. So it was the steering wheel. It was like that like opening section of the steering wheel, and it just started pouring out. And I remember we were opening the window and coughing, you know, and my mom pulled into the Toys R Us parking lot. She was like, everybody out. And she had the windows rolled up the window and just closed it, you know. And we got out. Everybody was okay, right? And the smoke was just filling up the car. And it was just black smoke, like, filled up in the car. So we called the fire department, right? Fire department comes, and my mom calls my dad. My dad's like, I'll be right there. I don't know how this man made it from his job to that parking lot so quickly. And he was like, what is wrong with my car? You know, he gets there. He gets to the parking lot, right? And he's looking at it, he's like, oh no. The fire department comes and they're like, we're going to have to break the windows, you know. I don't know what it was. It was like something faulty with it. And I remember my mom yelling at my dad, telling him, you don't even care that the kids are okay? We could have choked, you know, could have blown up on us. We don't know. So my dad was just worried about his car. And I remember the firefighter. I was just sitting there with my sister. And I think because I was so hungry, my mom got me an Egg McMuffin. So I remember sitting there eating an Egg McMuffin as a kid, watching as the fireman took the axe, and my dad was on his knees like, no! And he took the axe to the windshield 3 times to let the smoke go. My dad was like, no! As I sat there eating an Egg McMuffin, he's like, my car! As my mom's yelling at him that how could you not care that we're okay? It was just chaos. Crazy family day. My point being, the smoke that came out, it just kept getting worse and worse. And the firemen like wound up putting everything out, but it was really, really bad. And it happens quickly. Luckily, the thing didn't blow up while we were in it.
In 2015, hoverboards manufactured by the
Way
company
better.
Swagway were taken off of Amazon completely. It was later determined that the cause of these fires was caused by faulty lithium-ion batteries that were placed in these low-quality contraptions. Because of their poor design, scooters could actually overheat while being charged and just blow up. Businesses started banning people from using hoverboards on their property, and many airlines banned the product from being placed in carry-on or checked
They still
baggage.
do. So they'll ask you if you have any lithium-ion batteries in your bag, and they'll ask you, you know, any e-cigarettes as well, because most of them. So if you ever travel, you'll notice that they'll ask you if you're checking your bag on there. They'll ask you, do you have any lithium-ion batteries, like anything with lithium-ion battery in your bag?
It's due to safety issues posed by the batteries. Quote, Delta reviewed hoverboard product specifications and found that manufacturers do not consistently provide detail about the size or power of their lithium-ion batteries. Despite the rise in awareness in regard to the dangers posed by hoverboards, unfortunately, these faulty products would continue to hurt and maim children. On January 9th of 2016, at the home of Brian and Megan Fox in Nashville, Tennessee, their child's hoverboard bursted into flames while the parents weren't at home. The two children heard noises coming from the first floor and hid upstairs thinking that the sound was an intruder. However, what they didn't realize is that sound was their hoverboard exploding, and they were essentially trapped in a house that was now burning down. Brian and Megan arrived home shortly after to find their house engulfed in flames with their two young children still stuck inside. Brian would attempt to rescue his kids and sustain several burn injuries while doing so. Thankfully, the children would be heroically rescued after they jumped out of windows. Both would survive, only sustaining minor injuries. This hoverboard-induced fire completely annihilated the family's $1 million home and their belongings, resulting in approximately $2 million in damages. Later in the year, the family would sue Amazon, alleging that the company was liable for the defective hoverboard.
I don't know if they could win that one.
Amazon argued that they were simply a conduit for the consumer and the manufacturer, and that in all reality, the manufacturer was to blame for the fire. However, eventually in 2020, Amazon would settle with
They settled out of court?
Wow,
they put enough pressure, settled out of court. Yeah, just to kind of like get it out of there and then change their terms and everything to protect them from anything like this happening again. It's probably your smartest bet. Remember, I tell you guys, especially with most things don't go fully through to court. It's so much money. You don't understand. So much money. So 9 times out of 10 things get settled out of court privately.
With all of this chaos and destruction caused by hoverboards, it wouldn't be long for official agencies to step in and get the ball rolling on a recall here. The Consumer Product Safety Commission would launch an investigation into the safety of hoverboard devices and determine that the lithium-ion batteries within them could overheat and pose the high risk of catching fire. And after these findings, in July of 2016, the commission ordered a recall of over 500,000 hoverboard units from 8 different manufacturers. The Swagway X1 hoverboard alone was the target of 267,000 of these recalls. Sadly though, even after the recall, more children were getting hurt. In early 2017, a hoverboard exploded and caught fire and resulted in the death of 2 children after their entire house was burnt down. In January of 2018, a Clarkston, Michigan family were charging their hoverboard when it bursted into flames. Fortunately, this family was able to escape the deadly discharge and alert the fire department, who were able to put out the flames and save their house. Remarkably, in 2021, a Utah-based family was actually able to catch a hoverboard exploding on video. The video shows a young child almost being burnt by the device. Luckily, the kid's father, who was asleep at the time, woke up and grabbed the fire extinguisher and was able to put out the blaze.
Fire extinguishers are the best. I know you don't really think about it, but you should have multiple of them. It is a lifesaver, man. You've got 3, you got 5, you have 2, good. You have 10, the more the merrier. And yeah, make sure they aren't expired. It is one of the best things you can have in a situation like this. And you should have one on each floor. If you have multiple floors, if you're in a house with like 2 floors, you have 1 or 2, at least 2 on each floor in case something happens where it's just one of the best things you could have.
And sadly, even after there being problems with these hoverboard products for close to half a decade at this point, defective ones are still making it onto store shelves and hurting kids. Hopefully this trend dies down in the near future, but with hoverboard deaths and injuries within the last year, it's not looking good.
That's crazy.
In the
fidget spinner. What? I like the original one that everybody had, but then they started making some crazy, stupid ones. What's actually wrong with shoes?
Flash in the pan toys. The king of all of them is without a doubt the fidget spinner. With
That's
their
the
bright
original.
colors,
That is
collectible
it.
nature, and of course seamless spinning function, these fidget spinners proved to be quite the ubiquitous toy found amongst the youth in the late 2010s.
What could go wrong with a
Fidget spinners
fidget
were
spinner?
said to have possessed emotional and mental benefit to kids. kids, helping some children deal with anxiety and stress. While these aforementioned benefits surrounding fidget spinners are up for debate, okay, what's undeniable about this product is that it has a dark side of hurting kids, with reports of fidget spinners causing psychosis, being poisonous, and being used in attempted child kidnappings. In 2017, an aspiring businessman by the name of Alan Marmon saw potential in the toy if only it could be mass-produced, leading him to create the Fidget 360, a product that would become the model for all modern fidget spinners found on shelves today. The Fidget 360 toy was marketed as a way of helping young teens and children cope with autism, ADHD, and anxiety, despite there not being any solid research proving the notion at the time. Whatever the case, fidget spinners are fun and addictive, and it was an immediate hit after being put on store shelves.
Yeah,
Much like
I
the
got one.
hoverboard, the popularity of fidget spinners was thanks in part to social media. Online, one can find numerous videos of folks showcasing their spectacular fidget spinner skills, magic tricks involving the toys, and humorous skits to boot. But in contrast to the hoverboard, fidget spinners were actually relatively affordable, with most of them
Like
ranging in price from $5 to $20. So this was like a people's toy, you know what I'm saying?
Fun fact, I had 5 of them. I never paid for one. People gave it to me at work.
But while the internet videos portrayed
perfect!
this kid's toy as harmless fun and games, as Chinese fidget toy copycats flooded the market, problems began to occur. In May of 2017, the reality of fidget spinners being a choking hazard would come to fruition. This happened when a Texas mother named Kelly Rose Joniak had to rush her daughter Britton to the emergency room after she accidentally swallowed part of the gadget. It said that the woman heard her daughter, quote, make an odd retching noise in the back seat. She says, looking back in the mirror, I saw her face turning red and drool pouring from her mouth. She couldn't utter noises but looked panicked, so I immediately pulled over. After being taken to the hospital and given x-rays, it was discovered that part of the fidget spinner brushing, which is the metal part of the spinner that's about the size of a quarter, had popped out and was lodged into her esophagus.
It's stuck in your throat. I had one time, you know those, this is gonna sound, oh boy, this is gonna sound so bad. You know those ice pops that, you know, like kind of look like a torpedo? I was a kid and I remember sitting on the chair and my mom was watching TV, and I was going, I was sucking it dry. I don't know why, bro. And because I was just sucking it dry, bro, it was getting thinner and thinner. And then I remember going, and that's the sound I made. Went, and because it flew in the back of my throat, and I was like, and like I couldn't breathe, and I stood up. It was lodged in the back, and I was like, you know, so, and my mom was like, Michael, oh my god, and like, my mom had to give me the Heimlich. Never sucked anything again.
There were some deranged criminals out there that were using the popularity of the fidget spinner and using the spinners themselves as bait to kidnap children. In June of 2017, a New Jersey man reportedly attempted to lure 2 children ages 8 and 11 into the back.
Hey kid, I don't got candy. Fidget spinners?
Back of his vehicle while at a convenience store in Lawrence Harbor, New Jersey.
At a quick check. Oh my god.
The man first tried offering the children snacks and candy, but when they didn't show in,
well, there you go. Oh my god, this is like such a stereotype.
The creep then upped the ante, allegedly offering the young kids fidget spinners to play with if they came with him. Thankfully, though, somebody at the convenience store saw what was going on and intervened. The staff member told the guy to leave, and in response, he aggressively said that the kids are coming with me, but after a little bit of back and forth, the creep eventually got out of there. The fidget spinning attempted kidnapper fled away in a white Toyota Corolla.
Was it a van? But it was white.
Guarantee Chibi would get kidnapped if someone offered her a Bowser toy. I can see kids wanting a fidget spinner.
She'd get kidnapped by a school for the next kickball game.
Choking and kidnapping bait aside, some fidget spinners were found to contain toxic levels of lead in them. In November of 2017, massive American retailer Target took fidget spinners off of their shelves when it was discovered by a consumer advocacy group that various spinners contain dangerously high levels of lead. That lead being found in the metal bearings of the spinners. Quote, new report on high levels of lead, 300 times the limit in some fidget spinners. As a result of this, Target would remove.
None of these products would have anything Like, if I was a kid, there's one thing I know my dad would protect against is, like, any harmful substances or anything. I was with my dad before I went to TwitchCon, all right, on that first part of the break, and I think it was uranium, right? Uranium? Is uranium green? All right, yeah. So he goes, hey, I want to show you something. And I was like, sure. And he shows me, he got like this, it's like a bowl. I don't know if it's uranium or some with a U. Uranium glass bowl. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. I was like, what the hell? So he shows me, he was like, pretty cool, right? And like, he's a big chemistry nut, so he knows all these different things and chemicals. He's like a genius, right? So like, he was like, it's uranium. He was like, I wanted to make sure that this was real uranium. And I was like, so I grabbed my uranium confogulator or something. And he gets this thing. And he was like, at point whatever. And he's showing me the calculator. He was like, means it's real uranium. He's like, beep, beep, tick. He's like, it's real uranium. And I was like, what the a Geiger counter, that's it! Guys, you guys are smart. That was it! A Geiger counter! He was like, I grabbed my Geiger counter. And I'm like, the f***? So I would know if there was anything harmful growing up around, my dad would know. All the way from asbestos to anything. Any harmful chemical, he would know, and he'd have some kind of Geiger counter thing. How did you know that? A lot of Fallout games. Are you f***ing kidding?